Hi friends, today we are going to talk about the artist Wassily Kandinsky. And he is from the country of Russia, and he was born in the year 1866, so more than 150 years ago. This is an example of one of his paintings. You see lots of different lines and shapes, some circles, some half circles, triangles, and this is a picture here of what Kandinsky looked like. So he's standing behind his painting. Now, Kandinsky is considered a very, very important artist, and his artwork is in museums all over the world because he is considered the founder of a type of art we call abstract art. And maybe you've heard that word before, but I'm sure if you haven't heard the word before, you have seen many examples of abstract art. Abstract art, here is an example of Kandinsky's work of art that is abstract, and it's called black strokes. And a stroke is, to make a stroke is just like a series of lines. So all these little black lines you can call a stroke. So as you see here, abstract art is not a painting or a picture of something we see in real life, like a landscape or an object or of a person. It's just a bunch of lines and shapes and colors to make a beautiful design. So here's another example of Kandinsky's work of art that is abstract, and it's called the red oval. And I bet you can guess why this painting is called that. Can you spot it? Can you spot that shape? Yeah, it's very bright and it's right in the middle. He put it there so it really stands out. So as I said before, abstract art involves lines, shapes, and colors. But what you do with those lines, shapes, and colors is what makes abstract art very exciting. You can overlap your shapes, you can intersect, like in this area right here, it kind of looks like train tracks that are overlapping another series of lines. That's an intersection. So you can have things intersecting within your work of art where things are kind of going in between things and crossing over. And usually when we overlap shapes, do we overlap big shapes on top of small shapes or small shapes on top of big shapes? Yep, usually we start with our bigger shapes and then we overlap smaller shapes on top. So this huge kind of large yellow rectangle, he started probably by painting that shape, and then he overlapped all these other lines and shapes and colors on top of that. Now, besides being an artist, Kandinsky was also a musician, and he loved to listen to music when he painted. Many of the shapes in his paintings look like parts of musical instruments, like guitar strings or piano keys. Kandinsky even said that he saw colors when he heard music. So in this one here, you can probably see these lines, to me, look very, very musical. They look like guitar strings or violin strings. And this painting is called The White Dot. And I bet you can spot that where the white dot is because he really makes it stand out. You spot it? Yep, because he puts this fuzzy, larger black dot behind it. So that's another overlap to make the white dot stand out. Do you see anything musical in this piece? I bet you see lots of things. Right here looks like a keyboard, right? Or this could be a keyboard as well. I'm sure you see some guitar strings. And what about these circle shapes? What could these be? What musical instrument can these be? Have you ever seen the cymbals on a drum set? Yeah, to me they almost look like drum cymbals. And this piece here looks like a violin bow. So these could be the violin strings, and you can use the bow to play the strings. And I'm sure you see other musical things in this painting as well. The type of music that Kandinsky liked to listen to is called jazz music, and it was very popular in the early 1900s, the time in which Kandinsky lived. And I'm actually going to play an example of jazz music in which Kandinsky's painting is animated. So somebody took Kandinsky's painting and they actually made it into an animation with jazz music. So I'm going to play an example of that now for you. Pretty cool, huh? So I'm sure that you heard some musical instruments in that jazz music example. I definitely heard some drums. I think I heard a saxophone, maybe a piano. Here is another one of his abstract paintings called The Red Spot. And you probably can spot that out. To me, this kind of looks like a guitar pick right there. And Kandinsky said, color is the keyboard, the keys are the harmonies, and the soul is the piano with many strings. The artist is the hand that plays, touching one key to another to cause vibrations in the soul. So he is comparing an artist to what an artist does when they paint to what a musician does when he plays a musical instrument. Pretty cool, huh? And this is the last painting I want to show you called Small Worlds. And this one to me doesn't look quite as musical, but it reminds me, well, I think these might be this could be a world here. Some planets. And this to me reminds me kind of a boat with the masts and the sails and some water. Well, I hope you enjoyed the slide presentation, boys and girls, and we are going to make our very own abstract work of art.